Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Hello, thank you for watching my videos. It's Mike, it's February 20th, 2009. It's going to be very interesting today. Now, the reason it's going to be interesting has nothing to do with the fact that I woke up in a good mood this morning and was immediately depressed. However, we'll start with the funny story of the day. Just back on the road with the real Crocodile Dundees in Australia. This is the latest winner in our travel writing competition, Caroline Simpson, for her account of a plucky Pommy Sheila travelling with truckies across Kimberley in Western Australia. I know, none of those words make any sense to me either. However, no worries, it's only a roo. But it gets messy if you hit cattle. Couldn't you have stopped? I asked. You must be joking, mate. It takes a kilometre to stop this baby when she's rolling. He's referring to what's normally called a road train. 160 foot long at least, 3 trailers, 64-wheel truck, traveling across the continent and occasionally smashing into kangaroos. I thought it was interesting and funny, so. Not the kangaroo bit. The rest of the article is full of great Australianisms, and I thought it was a good little start to the day. However, my day then took a rather nasty turn. And across Europe, stock markets are declining quite dramatically. Biggest losers are, well, in this case, in London, it's currently Anglo-American. They're cutting jobs all over the place, the mining company. And but there's also the banks are having great difficulty. And if I go into the banking sector, let me just quickly go into it, sorry. The BBC website's being very slow today for some reason. Yep, okay, so now Cattles is now the top loser, and it's all over the place basically. Nobody knows quite what's going on. Banks seem to be doing reasonably well. They're only down close to 5% today. Why is that, you say? Okay, well, I woke up this morning and someone had sent me a link over to Carl Denninger's blog over on the market ticker. And it's linked here if you want to go check this out. Basically, he's predicting today is going to be a terrible day in the Dow Jones, today and Monday. So for those of you wondering when the roller coaster ride will ever end, it ain't ending anytime soon. We've just gone around the corner and we're about to go down a great big huge dip. It's going to be fun. Now, of course, you know from previous predictions of my own that it's not the end yet. And occasionally I put scary titles up to attract viewers. And I comment on scary things in the economy, and that is to get people to wake up. We do have a few more months of nonsense left, assuming nothing goes terribly wrong in the intervening time. Well, there is great risk of terrible things happening. Over in the States, rising debt may overwhelm Barack Obama's effort to rescue the economy. This is from yesterday's Times. Well, actually, it was published yesterday on the web. I guess it's in today's Times. I haven't bothered going out and get the papers. There's just... It's all here, and I'm just freaking. But anyway, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Okay, so that's the Times, and they're basically saying it's a complete mess over in the States, and they ain't wrong on that one. Now, something that doesn't seem to have been picked up by a lot of people is the fact that Gordon Brown is suddenly rushing off to Germany this weekend. He's going to be meeting with, in Berlin, with, what's-her-face, Angela Merkel. And there are also going to be leaders of Britain, France, Italy, Spain will join the talks in Berlin, hosted by Chancellor Merkel, but also European Union will be represented by Jose Manuel Barroso, the current European Commission President, Dutch Prime Minister Jan-Peter Balingdent, my apologies, I really can't pronounce that, and Eurogroup Chairman Jean-Claude Juncker are also invited. European Central Bank President Jean-Claude Trichet and Merrick Topolanek, Prime Minister of Czech Republic, which currently holds the presidency of the EU, will complete the high-powered lineup. Why are they all rushing there this weekend? It was supposed to be next weekend. They moved it forward 1 week. Why is that, people are saying? Things are terribly falling apart in the European Union. Don't expect miracles during big week in EU's battle with depression, so says The Guardian. This was Wednesday. It was on the web and published on Thursday yesterday. Is the EU falling apart? Can the euro survive? The coming week is scheduled to deliver some eagerly awaited policy responses to these urgent questions. Now, this is at the bottom of this. He mentions the fact, the article mentions the fact that they're going to meet March 1st. Well, they've moved it forward a week. Why is that? Berlin cleared to seize control at Hypo Real Estate. Hypo Real Estate is a big lender of mortgages in Germany. And they've already received some money from the German government. And now the German government has decided they're going to change their laws so they can actually nationalize a bank should it become necessary. Looking awfully necessary. Germany approves temporary bank nationalization. This is from Radio Netherlands. The German government has approved an emergency law enabling the government to temporarily nationalize banks. Something big is about to fall. Now in the UK, home repossessions hit 12-year high. So that's not good news, but I mean, it's, where are we at now? We're at 75,000 people are predicted to lose their homes in 2009, which of course means that the the highly touted, what is it called? The mortgage, government support for mortgage interest benefit isn't working terribly well. And I've got the original article linked in there. So what's happening in the higher-ups? Now, I missed this last weekend because I was traveling. Over on The Guardian, there is a doomsday plan to renationalise BT. BT is British Telecom, which is the telephone company here, one of the main telephone companies here. The government is believed to have drawn up a contingency plan that would involve the wholesale renationalisation of BT should the company get into financial difficulty. They're planning things. Sweden. Now I've linked an article here about Saab. Saab is a car company for those who have never heard of it. They make some rather nice cars, kind of funky things. Now Saab is actually, there's two Saabs. There's a Saab that does military aircraft, and there's also the Saab that does cars. So anyway, Saab on the brink as Swedish crisis reaches deadlock. Okay, so Sweden's in trouble. Now at the bottom of this article, Ambrose Evans Pritchard mentions a very interesting little fact. Right, so their GDP has declined. Trying to find the number here. Sweden has been the hardest hit of any country in Western Europe. The economy contracted at an annualized rate of nearly 20% in the fourth quarter, which is horrendous. Yeah, to say the least. An annualized GDP contraction of 10% is technically a depression. So Sweden is now officially in depression. Whoa! Coming our way. Right. At this point you probably need a laugh. So I've linked here a link to foreign policy. 20 things that won't survive the crisis. And some of them are quite funny. He's actually got some really good lines in here. Number 6, the career of Gordon Brown won't last. Yup. Number 7, Citibank. Of course it is too big to fail. So was the Soviet Union. Yes. Now he makes mention of another article, which has great import in North America. The Axis of Upheaval. This is an article by Neil Ferguson. Now Neil Ferguson is the author of The Age of Money, and if you haven't read that, it's a good book. Anyway, he goes on basically to say, forget Iran, Iraq, North Korea. An economic calamity meets political and social turmoil. The world's worst problems may come from countries like Somalia, Russia, and Mexico, and they're just the beginning. He makes mention of Mexico. Now, of course, I had said, well, what's actually happening in Mexico? Article here from the National Post from a few days back from the weekend. Don't look now, but Mexico is collapsing. Yeah, Mexico's about to fall into civil war, folks. I've got linked here an interactive map from the LA Times, what's happening within Mexico and where it's happening for people who aren't familiar with the geography of Mexico. And finally, Britain at risk of 10-year recession. The outgoing Deputy Governor of the Bank of England has warned Britain is at serious risk of entering a decade-long recession similar to that experienced by Japan in the 1990s. Sir John Jeeve, I guess that's how you pronounce that, was speaking after new figures showed Britain's national debt could more than double to almost £2 trillion later this year. However, he added that such a prolonged decline was not inevitable. The way they're playing with money over there, I think it is. So everyone, there's a couple more links in there. Most important one is from Bloomberg. US-Europe may jointly regulate credit derivatives. So this whole idea of a centralized regulator is actually being accepted, particularly, surprisingly enough, within the White House. Everyone have a good day. Peace, love, understanding. I'm not a doom and gloom guy. I know we can make through this, but it's going to be a bumpy ride. Everyone hang on tight. And for those parts of the country, of the world, that seem to bounce off the side of the roller coaster, please take care.